Okay, so the first thing I just did was I took some soap and water, some brushes, and I just cleaned off the surface dirt. My goal is not to be perfect here, just to get anything loose, because I'm gonna let it air dry, and then I probably wipe it with a towel and try to put a first coat of primer on it. So here it is. It's 2,100 gallons. It's about 7 feet tall. I'll get some pictures with me in the frame for comparison later. Okay, the next thing that I did after I let it dry, I kind of sketched out the door here. It's nothing scientific, just something that looked good by eye. And what you want to do is put the hinges on first from the videos that I've watched, and I'm just using techniques I've watched from a couple videos. So I'm going to put those on first, and then cut the door out. I'm either going to plunge cut it with the circular saw, or more than likely I'm just going to use my jigsaw and cut it out that way. Okay, so put a screw on here to open the door. I didn't cut this. I thought maybe it would act like a hinge, but if you come over here, you can see this plastic is so thick. That's definitely going to have to be cut. So I'll take the hinges off and then cut it. Okay, so I just cut those, so hopefully this should open now. There we go. And we have to clean the inside out. There's all this algae on the bottom. I did drill a hole in here. I don't think it'll hurt anything in the end. I can fill it if I want, but rather than trying to tip it over. But here's just all this algae I'm trying to brush out first. And it's slick. Okay, so I just cleaned out the inside. I'm not going to get all that off, but there was like a 1/4 inch of slime. I drilled a couple holes in there to let it drain, wash the walls. It's pretty clean with the exception of that, but there's going to be carpet or something down. So now we're just going to shut this door, wipe up any water that we might have gotten the outside wet with, and we're going to put a coat of primer on. I think it's Kills 123. I'm not sure. I'll look, but I got it tinted gray, and we're going to try to get one coat of that on before dark tonight. Okay, we just got one coat of primer on. We're letting it dry. Take you up and show you the door here. It's got a screw in it for now. Kind of looks weird on the inside, but we got most of that water out, just a little bit of foam from the bleach and the soap. So we'll get that out tomorrow. And this is supposed to dry in an hour. I think I'm gonna run out of daylight. I wanted to get some other color on there, but that'll work for day one. Picked it up this morning, brought it back, cut the door. Now my next plans are to put some color on the outside, some camo, and then I'm gonna prime the inside, and then I have a dark brown that I'm gonna put on the inside. Actually, it's more of a black. It's pretty much black, but technically it's brown. The key to blinds, you want to make sure they're black on the inside, so it's going to be black and then camo on the outside. Okay, so I just cut the floor of this out, as you can see. I just used my jigsaw there. Went really easy. I left that lip around the edge, and you could attach, whatever you want to use for a floor if you want to use one to that. It's so cold, my paint is still drying on the inside from yesterday. What I'm doing now is just trying to draw in my windows. I think I'm going to do 10 by 36. I think that's how long my plexiglass is. So just trying to use a couple squares. It's not going to be perfect, but as long as you can shoot out of them and you can fit the plexiglass in there, I guess that's all that matters. Next, I drilled my holes on all four corners of the window. That way I can fit my saw blade in there and cut them. I'm doing it from the inside. As I cut most of it out, then I'll go and attach the hinges. Okay, so this XRP, you just slide it in the groove. And I usually try both sides because for some reason I feel like one side might work a little better. Could just be me. So just like that. Leave a little extra on the bottom. I'm not doing any big measurements. I'm just eyeballing everything. And you have your window. You can come on in here. This happens to be the window for my door. And then all you're gonna do is put some pre-drill here, 3 holes, and then put your screws in and it'll slide up and down. I've tried a couple different things to make these slide easier. I put some WD-40, I have some dry lubricant with silicone, just been trying, but once you get that in there, this is it. This stuff is called FRP molding, Foxtrot Romeo Papa. It's got grooves in it on the top and the bottom. You can get it at Home Depot. And so essentially it's a slider. And my window, it's got that film on it, so you can't see through it, but I'm gonna leave it on there. And it's a little bit tough actually, but you can see I'll have to put a knob on here, but you can slide it back and forth. I'm gonna show the windows a little bit more. What I've done, kept all the cutouts, so when I'm not using them, I can keep them down, because sometimes you're not going to want to get backlit, and to reduce that you can keep some of these shut. Okay, I'm winding down. It's like the 3rd or 4th day in a row. I've been working on this almost all day. I took off work. So here it is with everything shut. Sorry for the sun here. All the windows have the exterior plastic still on them on a hinge. That way, if you don't want the window open, you can keep that down. Now the floor, I wasn't sure. As you can see, I cut the floor out. And I was gonna build this giant skid, like a sleigh. But what I decided to do instead, I actually had it partially built, I tore it apart, was take bought pressure treated plywood. I did 2 halves. So you can put the halves on the trailer, it's easier to carry. And we can put them together in the blind. They just slip into place more or less. I don't know if I can do it with one hand, but you know, they would slip onto that 2x4 in the center. Okay, so what I did, took my floors, 2 half circles out of plywood, pressure treated plywood, some 2x4 support underneath. I just bought a cheap $20 carpet at Home Depot and made it work. Wasn't quite big enough. I had to piece it together there a little bit, but it'll be fine. So that's what's going inside. Okay, the big reveal. I just finished up. Took the covers off the windows, washed the windows. Here she is, 7x7. So I have windows all different heights. I have 4 kids. I don't know what exactly I would need. I left the plastic cutouts on hinges so we can put them down. I'll show you all that. I have 2 gun ports here just for like just getting the barrel out. I figured those would be a little more secure. There's the door. The door actually has a window on it as well. Everything in here should be pretty much waterproof. The floor, it's made in 2 pieces. It comes out. You know, I plan on maybe keeping this out, but pulling the floor out after the season. I'm not sure. Or I might just leave it in there. It's a $20 carpet, and everything else is pressure treated. So as you go in, I'm actually going to take my shoes off because my dog just left me something awesome in the yard and I stepped in it. So as you come in, here's my 2-piece carpet. I got that for like $20 at Home Depot, and wasn't quite big enough, but I used the rest of it, or I used the extra to make it work. I made a right-handed bench that is hinged. If you go ahead and lift that, or take the stick out. It's hinged, so I figured whichever daughter was up in the blind could sit there. Go ahead. I just have it on hinges and then a stick under it. And I can secure that better with a clamp or something, but for now, so she could be in here looking out. Well, that about does it for the blind build. It was a great project. It took me 3 or 4 days, pretty much nonstop, to work on it, but I'm just kind of OCD that way, I guess. Once I start something, I like to finish. It was a good project. My kids and I sat in it for a few days. We had a lot of heavy snow and some rain, so it kept us dry. It heated up very nice with a buddy heater, and the best part about it, my wife was able to get her biggest buck to date out of it, so she was able to go out. She went out by herself, shot a nice 8-point with about a 19-inch outside spread, so that was great. And I'm getting pictures of deer in my plot coming right up to it. They've definitely gotten used to it. I did mount it on a trailer, a utility trailer this year, just so I could transport it easier and get a little bit of elevation. But I don't know if I'm gonna leave it there or elevate it permanently or get its own trailer. I'm just not sure yet, but that's a nice thing about those, is you have a lot of options. You can do a lot of different setups with them, take them to different fields. It was just a good project. I don't think it's ever gonna rot, so it should be around for years to come. I think it's worth it if you could find a tank in your area for a decent amount of money. I did put a lot of money into it, but still well below what a commercial blind would cost of that caliber. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions or comments, please drop them down in the comments. And most of all, if you could hit the subscribe button, I would really appreciate it.